Start.
Mr. Piper's Bus by Eleanor Clymer. Chapter 3. Mr. Piper on the Road. It was a beautiful summer day. The sun shone down brightly on the streets and buildings, on the people and cars hurrying along. Buster sat on the front seat with his head out of the window. Mrs. Cat sat on the next seat. Little Mac perched on the back of the third seat. They all seemed to be enjoying the ride. Mr. Piper began to enjoy it too. "This will be fun," he told his animals. "We will see the country. Afterwards, I will find good homes for you. You'll like it." "Meow," said Mrs. Cat, jumping down into the box with her kittens. "Don't worry," said Mr. Piper. "Nobody is going to take them away from you. Please stop worrying." He had been worrying himself, but now he felt much better. He began to sing. "Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, and many a stormy wind shall blow, Jack comes home again." He sang as loudly as he could. This was his own bus, and he could sing loudly if he wanted to. But where was the bounding main? Oh, here it was. They came to a bridge over a river. They crossed the bridge and found themselves on a broad highway. On both sides were gas stations and diners. A sign said, "Eat." Mr. Piper was hungry. He had been so excited about leaving that he had forgotten about lunch. He stopped the bus. "Wait here," he told the animals. He went in and got 3 hamburgers, a bottle of milk, some lettuce, some coffee, and a pie. He took the food out to the bus, and they all had lunch. "This is expensive, though," he said. "I'll have to find a cheaper way of eating." When they came to a grocery store, Mr. Piper stopped again. He bought some canned cat and dog food, some bread and cheese and fruit, and some corn for Little Mac, and some milk. "Now we're all set," he said. They left the gas station and diners behind. Soon they were in the country. There were fields, farmhouses, and barns. It looked like the picture on the television screen. "Only it's better," said Mr. Piper. "It smells good." Farmers were cutting hay, apples were ripening on the trees. Mr. Piper turned onto a side road. The sun was beginning to go down. The sky was pink in the west. Long shadows lay across the road. Mr. Piper yawned. "I'm getting tired," he said. "Let's spend the night under this apple tree." The animals seemed to like the idea. Mr. Piper parked the bus well off the road. He opened the door and let Buster and Mrs. Cat out. "You go for a walk while I'm getting supper. Don't go far." He tied a long string to Little Mac's leg so he would not get lost. Little Mac walked around pecking at bugs and pebbles. He seemed to know just what to do, even though he had been raised in the city. Mr. Piper took out his folding chair and his table. He put out the food he had bought and sprinkled corn on the ground for Little Mac. After supper, they all rested quietly. Mr. Piper smoked his pipe. Buster lay at his feet. Little Mac roosted in the apple tree. Mrs. Cat sat in Mr. Piper's lap just as if she were at home. The sky turned deep blue and then black. The stars twinkled, and the little moon shone. Crickets chirped, and now and then a bird called. Mrs. Cat went to the bus to feed her children. Mr. Piper went in too to make his bed. Then he had an idea. "Why shouldn't I sleep outdoors? The night is warm and it doesn't look like rain." He made his bed up under the tree and laid down. Buster curled up at his feet. A breeze whispered in the leaves. "This is good," said Mr. Piper. A minute later, he was asleep. That was chapter 3.